Whenever I meet political bhakts across the spectrum, and when I say political bhakts, I mean people who have unwavering faith in one political party. When you give them evidence against its governance, they usually respond with the same argument. Well, if not this party, then who? According to them, there is no meaningful opposition, and that becomes the reason they continue supporting the party of their choice. But today, I want to show you some disturbing evidence about the cost of having no opposition. Because when a ruling party faces no meaningful political challenge, it can mismanage a crisis, hide the scale of that crisis, and avoid accountability for the damage caused to our well-being. Recent research shows exactly how this can happen. This research examines how political competition influenced the transparency of health data in India during the COVID-19 pandemic. Now, the researchers compared Andhra Pradesh and Telangana, two states that are demographically, culturally, and linguistically similar, but had very different political structures. Andhra Pradesh had a competitive two-party system with a meaningful opposition, while Telangana was dominated by a single ruling party with a much weaker opposition. The researchers examined what happened after India entered phase 3 of the national unlock on the 1st of August 2020 when several restrictions were relaxed. In Andhra Pradesh, reported hospitalizations, recoveries, and deaths increased significantly, which was broadly consistent with the national trend at the time. But Telangana showed suspicious declines in reported hospitalizations, deaths, and recoveries. The researchers then examined the same pattern at the district level. They found that districts with at least one opposition legislator reported significantly higher levels of hospitalizations than districts that represented only the ruling party. This pattern appeared in both states, continued before and after the national unlock. In other words, whenever there was some political opposition, more cases appeared in the official data. The authors did not rely only on these statistical patterns. They also pointed to mortality records showing an unusual decline in registered deaths in Telangana during the pandemic, as well as interventions by the Telangana High Court, which criticized the state's testing strategy and questioned hospital admission practices. Taken together, the evidence suggests that Telangana's apparently better performance was not necessarily evidence of better governance. It may instead have reflected a political system in which the government faced less scrutiny and could hide more of the crisis. I hope you see the problem here. What is happening is political window dressing. Governments have an incentive to manipulate the numbers so that they appear more competent than they actually are. And this is where the opposition is needed. Opposition acts as a monitor. It represents citizens, questions the government, exposes inconsistencies, and increases the political cost of misreporting data. In the language of the paper, political competition reduces the monitoring cost for ordinary citizens like you and I. We do not have the time, resources, and access to verify every government claim ourselves. A functioning opposition does some of that work for us. It demands explanations, raises questions, brings information into public debate, and increases the cost of hiding administrative failure. But when there is no meaningful opposition, there is also much less accountability. A dominant ruling party can mismanage a crisis, suppress inconvenient information, and still present itself as successful. In other words, when there is no opposition, the political party in power does not give a shit about your health or your life. Let me repeat that. When there is no meaningful opposition, the ruling party does not give a flying shit about your well-being or my life. For all they care, you can go and die. But my health may not even be registered properly. It may never become part of the official data. It may never count as evidence of government failure. You become invisible. not only politically but statistically. And when suffering is removed from the data, is it also removed from government's performance record? So the next time a political bhag tells me there is no meaningful opposition, so who else should we support? I want to show them this study, because the absence of opposition is not a harmless political inconvenience. It can determine whether a crisis is exposed or hidden, whether a government is questioned or protected, and whether your suffering is counted at all. And the next unreported observation in that data could be you, your parents, your partner, or your child. Thank you so much for your attention. I'll see you next time with another important idea on devil wears data.